Hello everyone, my name is Vikrant Nalawade. I recently joined Ashnik as a senior DevOps engineer. Talking about Ashnik, it's a company that's all about empowering businesses with cutting edge, open source, and cloud native solutions. Today, I'm excited to share my journey at Ashnik and one of the most exciting projects I have worked on. That is deploying a Rancher cluster with some additional capabilities. Joining Ashnik has been an incredible experience. From day one, I have been a part of a culture that encourages innovation, collaboration, and continuous learning. It's been inspiring to work alongside such talented individuals and contribute to impactful solutions. In this video, I'll not only talk about my experience, but also give you behind the scenes look at how I deployed Rancher cluster, whether you are a tech enthusiast or looking for insights into Kubernetes management. I hope this inspires and informs you. So let's get started.
Now we will see how we are deploying the Rancher with RKE2, and we'll also give you a demo about how you can do it on your environment. So the objectives are like what you can expect at the end of the video. Then we will discuss what is Rancher, why we use Rancher, the requirements, installation, hardware and networking requirements, then architecture of our today's deployment. Then we will see the demo, and after that we will discuss what are our further steps. So what you can expect is at the end of this video, you will have a basic understanding of Rancher. You will get to know how to set up the RKE2 cluster, RKE2 Kubernetes cluster. Then you will get to know how to install Kubectl Helm and how to install Rancher on top of it. Then we will access the Rancher UI with domain name, how we can create the user in the Rancher and give him the access, and then the overview of the Rancher. So what is Rancher? Rancher is open source Kubernetes management platform, and it simplifies the deployment, management, and scaling of Kubernetes cluster. And it can act as a centralized management for multiple Kubernetes cluster. The cluster can be hybrid cluster. It can be clustered from the AKS environment or EKS environment or on-premise environment as well. Also, it comes with the built-in monitoring and alerting, and it has user access control and policy enforcement as well. So why we use Rancher? Rancher reduces the complexity of Kubernetes operations. Then it supports hybrid and multi-cloud environment. It is ideal for managing multiple clusters at a scale. So let's understand the installation requirements. So first we need the Rancher. We can deploy the Rancher in Docker containers as well, and then we can spawn the nodes. But also we require like we can have the cluster, a ready-made cluster, and we can deploy the Rancher on top of it. So in our case, we are using RKE2. I'll explain what is RKE2. So first understand what are the different Kubernetes cluster providers. So it can be Amazon EKS, Azure AKS, Google Cloud GKE, then RKE, K3S, and RKE2 are from Rancher itself. So RKE is a very popular Kubernetes engine, and K3S is the lightweight Kubernetes engine, and RKE2 is the successor of RKE, and it is lightweight as well as it has the security compliances at its place. It is also called as RKE government, and it has the built-in CIS security level inbuilt in that inbuilt in it. So we are using RKE2 for our demo purpose. Also, we need an ingress controller as well. For in case of RKE, K3S, and RKE2, we can skip it because it by default comes with the ingress controller. But in the other cases, we need to deploy it. Also, we need CLI tools, that is kubectl and Helm. let's see the hardware and networking requirements. So minimum we require 4 GB of RAM and 2 core CPU, and it can vary as per the requirements or as per your client base. Then I have listed some ports which we need to enable at a firewall level, and at inbound traffic. These are and enable these inbound network rules as well. So in my case, I'm using AWS EC2 instances. So I have enabled this port at a security group. Also, we are using CNI. So I'm using Canal as a CNI. You can use Calico or Flannel as well. But here in this demo, we are using Canal. So let's understand the architecture. So we are deploying 3 nodes. One will act as a master node and other 2 will act as a worker node. So on top of it, we are deploying RKE2 engine. So let's understand what is RKE2 engine. So RKE2 engine comes with RKE server node and RKE agent node. So this server node will be deployed on master node, and this RKE agent node will be deployed on worker nodes. Then we will install Kubectl and Helm on the master node, and then we will install the Rancher and will access the Rancher UI to on top of it. So for like user interaction, we can use Rancher UI, we can use CLI, that is kubectl, or we can use Kubernetes API if we are using any automation tools. So let's move on to the demo. Here I have created 3 instances, EC2 instances, and those are blank instances. I haven't done anything on it. We will start from the scratch. For the reference purpose, I have created a document as well. We will upload this document in the description and you will refer this. We have optimized this document so you can directly copy paste the commands and build your own cluster. So these are the things I have explained just now. So let's start. So in these EC2 instances, first we will log in with the root user. Then I'll update. Then we will set the host name. Then I'll exit and enter again so that we can see our host name here. We will do the same for both the workers. So we have our host name in place. Now we'll follow the steps. So for the installation, we require container Linux. So I'm installing the container Linux on our instances. So we will do this step on all the nodes, master and worker nodes. I'll again copy paste the same. Okay, so it's successful now. Okay, now we are following these steps on the master node only. So what it will do, it will install the RKE server and we will then enable that server. So I'm doing it. It's successfully installed. I'll enable that service and I'll start the service. It will take some time. So let's wait. Okay, now we will check the status as the label is info. So it is successfully deployed. You can use journalctl command as well. So you will get all the messages. I'll mention this command at the end of the document. Now the token will be created. We'll just print the token and retrieve it for our further installation. Now let's move on to the worker nodes. So on worker nodes, we need to first we need to first install the agent. So this is the command to install the RKE2 agent. I'll run the similar command on worker 2 as well. Then we will enable the service and also enable the service here as well. So while the server is started, it will be automatically started. Then we will create a directory and add a config YAML there. Here we are adding the following things. So first we will change the master node IP. Here I'm giving the private IP of my master server. So I'll get my private IP from here. So this is the private IP. And also the token which was generated on server installation. We are just copy pasting that. Now just save. I'll also print it. We will follow similar steps on worker 2 as well. I'll just copy paste from here. And we will save it. Now we need to start the RKE2 agent service. We'll start here as well. You can check the status using journalctl command. Okay, there is no error. So it is successfully deployed. Now our cluster is ready, but we need to communicate with our cluster. That's why we are installing the kubectl on a master node. So on master node, I install the kubectl. I'll check the version. So you can ignore this error because we haven't given any config file. So we need to create this config file in .kube folder. So I'll create this folder first. And then we can copy this. So if you are using any remote server, so in that file you can change this to the public IP of your master node. So let's check the nodes. As you can see, our master and worker nodes are ready. And now let's install the Helm. We'll use Helm to deploy the deploy the rancher. So I'm installing the Helm. We'll check the version. Now we need to enable the rancher repository on the Helm. Yes, it's enable. I'll install the certificate manager as well. It is required by the rancher. So it will give the self-send certificates for our cluster. Now we need to run this Helm install command. But before that, make sure you give your hostname entry as your domain name or any IP. So I'm giving my domain name. and we will run this command. Let's check the status of the pods. So it's container creating. We'll check the status of the deployments as well. We have a rollout command. Check the status of the deployment as well. So we can wait for it to be available. Yeah, now it's successful. If we check the status of the pod, it is running and containers are also running. Now we got one command to get the password for our Rancher UI. I'll just quickly run that. So this is our default password for admin user. We need to give it at first login. So I'll just, if you are wondering, okay, about this error, then you can continue because we are using self-signed certificate. So you can just continue here. This is the same command we just ran. I'll give this password. Just log in. Now, after clicking this option, you can set the new password as well. So I'm setting one password. And then continue. So we are logged into the user. This is our cluster. Before we go into the UI, I will first tell you how we can create the user. Then we will log in with our user as well. So I'll create my user. I'll give my name. I'll create a password for my user. Similarly, I'm getting administrator rights for this cluster. These are the global permissions. These are the built-in permissions. So you can create user and manage them accordingly. So I'll create the user. A user has been created. I'll just quickly log out from here. And then we can give our credentials. Yes. For like those who are wondering how to add these entries. So I have added the A record at our domain. And this is the IP address of a master server. You can give any IP address, master or worker server's public IP address as a record, and you will get to access this. So I'm just logging in. So now I'm into the UI. Let's have a quick overview. So this is the first landing page you will get. You can change this in the preferences here. This is our cluster. So I'll quickly click on the cluster. So this is the cluster we just deployed using RKE2, our Kubernetes version, our architecture, and how much time ago it was created. It will list all the matrices. It will list the events as well, what's happening in the cluster. On the left panel, you will see the namespaces and projects. So Rancher follows the project wise structure. So you can create the project, and in that project, you can create the namespaces, and you can give rights at project level as well, rights and quotas. So these are the projects. These are our nodes, master and worker nodes, their CPU utilization, RAM utilization, and everything. You can manage the membership here, cluster level and project level membership as well. Then here are the events. You can see what's happening in the cluster. These are the tools, like you can deploy the tools from here. Also on the home page, I'll explain the top panel. This is the namespaces or project. You can select from here. I'll select all namespaces. This is the import YAML button. You can import your custom YAMLs from like you can deploy your YAML, just copy paste here, and after clicking on the import, it will deploy that specific resource in this cluster. And we have a shell. We can give the command here in the shell as well. So I take the time for the connect. And after connection, you can run the kubectl commands here as well. From here, you can download the kubeconfig file. With the help of this file, you can log in remotely in this cluster. Then this is for copying the kubeconfig. You can search anything. This is for the profile and API keys and preference. And these are some extra options. Let's see on the workload. So in the workload, you can have the overview of like whatever what deployments we have, what demand states, jobs, stateful states, how much pods, everything here. Then we have the apps tab. This apps is derived from the Helm charts itself. So in repository, you can give your Helm chart repository here, and it will automatically fetch the charts from that repository. And from here, you can click to a single. You can use uh, a single installation button to deploy that Helm chart. We will use this feature in our further videos. Then we have uh, recent operations, installed apps. You can see here what are the charts been deployed in this cluster. We have service discovery, services, ingresses, then HPA. We have like for storage, config map secrets, persistent. You can list all the resources here. It follows the policy. We can give the custom policies, networking policies, budgets, and quotas from this tab. And these are some additional resources you can explore. Apart from that, here we can go and cluster management. You can add the related clusters, maybe hybrid cluster, cloud cluster, or on-premise cluster here in the single Rancher UI and manage the multiple clusters at once. Then we have the fleet continuous delivery tool for automation. We have virtualization manager management tool, harvester cluster as well. And from here, we just edited our users. We can assign roles and auth providers. We have the auth providers. Like for users, we can give the authentication method as well. It can be OAuth or LDAP. Also, we have the plugins. We can like add the repositories. We have the additional settings here. So this is all about the UI of the Rancher. You can explore it. This was the basic introduction of the Rancher UI. Let's summarize what we have learned in this demo. So first we deployed the RKE2. That is, we deployed the server RKE2 server on master node and RKE2 agent on worker node. And on top of it, we installed the Kubectl and Helm. And on top of it, we installed the Rancher UI. Okay, so on with the help of Rancher, we explored the Rancher overview and we communicated with the Kubernetes cluster. So what are the next steps? Let's see. So this is the basic setup. You can do it on your environment for testing purpose and all. But for production level, we need to enhance some securities. We need to harden this cluster. So in the next video, we will see how we can integrate Nginx plus Ingress controller to manage the Kubernetes traffic. Then we will integrate Nginx App Protect as well to implement the web application firewall rules and make it a robust. Then we'll deploy a sample application to test and validate the WAF rules. And yeah, so looking forward for the key benefits. Then we have improved traffic management with the help of Nginx Plus. Then we have enhanced security, and we will test the real world. We will have the real world testing scenario as well. So these are the documents, and the RKE2, and this is the official RKE2 document, and this is the official Rancher documents. Also, we will paste the link of this document in the description below, so you can refer and deploy your own cluster.
So that's how we deployed RKE2, installed kubectl and Helm, and finally deployed Rancher on top of it. This might not be the only way or even the best approach, but it's one that worked well for us as we explored and tried our hands on this deployment. But this is just the beginning. In the next video, we will take it a step further by integrating Nginx plus Ingress Controller and Nginx App Protect with Rancher. We are excited to see how this can enhance security and traffic management in Kubernetes environment. If you are on a similar journey or just curious, we would love to hear your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Ashnik channel to join us as we learn and grow together. Thanks for watching and see you again in the next video.